Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, what up? Zoe Williams is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the crib. We back at it. The Zoe What Morning Show. How's everybody doing? Get in here, hit that like button, hit the share button. Support the channel in the best way you know how. Really quickly, Smoke and Mirrors, episode 2. Smoke and Mirrors is a new podcast that was put together by my brothers, Marvin Jones, Chase Johnson, a.k.a. Chase Infinite, and myself, Zoe Williams. It's an amazing podcast where we sit down and, some people say, it's a cigar podcast, but it really isn't. Usually cigar content is just about cigars. But what we've done is we've integrated the cigar content movement, which isn't really favored on YouTube very much. We've integrated aspects of that with entertainment. And because all three of us at some point in our lives, at least back in the day and now, are executives in the music industry or television or radio or acting, the whole 9 yards. So we bring in guests from all walks of life, and episode 2 is up now. So I want everybody to go over there and subscribe to the Smoke and Mirrors YouTube channel. Episode 2 is up. Of course, Idi Amin from the Outlaws is giving us real insight and information about his relationship with Tupac. He's talking about cigars. He's talking about music. He's talking about their place in hip-hop history. He's talking about the greatest diss songs. Man, it's a fly episode, and it's up on our Smoke and Mirrors podcast on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/smoke and mirrors to check out our interview with Idi Amin. And I'm going to tell you, it's a fly-ass interview. It's dope. And if you haven't seen episode 1, which we dropped a month ago, that one was with Crooked I. So just different hip-hop legends. Crooked I from Slaughterhouse. Everybody know the good brother. But yeah, if you've never seen those episodes, you need to get over there to Smoke and Mirrors. Subscribe. As is commonplace for the Zoe What Morning Show, we like to promote black-owned businesses in the beginning. Listen, guys, I'm going to say this about He Is Risen right now. Because what happens is, even in weeks that I don't promote, you guys will order. So I got those orders. I haven't promoted He Is Risen in a couple of weeks because we've been packaging it up and shipping them out. Orders that were delayed or lost or whatever. I want you guys to understand, it is a courtesy for me to send you another order. Okay? That is a courtesy. Can you pull up my website? On my website, it says all sales are final, no refunds. But for a lot of people, my order was lost. Some people will hit me up after months and months and months. My order was in May. Dude, we're in September. My order was in February. Look, please respect what's on that website. All right? There's typically no refunds. I need y'all to understand that. But out of courtesy for my people, I'm busy, putting shipments together, and you're all right. So listen, I spoke with Dr. Russell and nephew. They are putting together 400 bottles of He Is Risen. Do not start ordering right now. Please do not. They're not in town. When they get in town, I'm going to let you know. All right? I'm going to let you know. Because sometimes people be like, where's my order, Zoe? Well, we've run out. We don't have any more. So I don't want you ordering and then your money is just sitting there. You understand? So do not order right now. I will let you know. You know how I come in here and I have all those bags? I'll let you know. But nephew is working on getting me 400 bottles. Now, trust me, he is risen, is potent, it's powerful, it's crazy, and people know it actually works. Like it work. So if you want it, I'll let you know when you can get it. But don't just rush and start making orders right now. And then when it gets lost in the sauce because you ordered during a time there were none in stock. And then when I do get them in stock, I'm going for the ones that are at the top. Because you understand what I'm saying? Let me package these up. Next thing you know, you down at the bottom and you're like, what happened to my orders? So just be patient. Be patient. I'm going to let you know when they come in. But y'all know what to do. Support RussellHerbals.com. RussellHerbals.com. This is Dr. Russell Harrison, whom I put on the same plateau as Dr. Sebi when it comes to this detoxing and organ cleanse modality. This brother right here is not a game. He's not a joke. Trust me when I tell you, this is the guy you want to get with. 77 years strong. The brother is a genius with this. And like I said, I put him on the same level as Dr. Sebi. Now, different herbologists have different methodologies with regards to how they prepare their herbs. But at the end of the day, this dude is one of those dudes. He's one of those geniuses when it comes to cleanses, right? So go to RussellHerbals.com. That's Dr. Russell. He has RussellHerbals.com. Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. We got 99 people in here for a channel that has 74,000 subscribers. People question if you're being shadow banned or not. Well, what happens is early on, when you're new to YouTube, typically your audience all get their notifications. They've been habituated for what time you're on. Now, there have been many different phenomena like I don't get the notifications, or when the video is finished airing, it's not in the place that it normally was before. You hear people saying things like, oh, I had to go look for it in order to find today's show. So again, shadow ban is real. But the real question you need to ask is, why is Zoe shadow banned? And has been shadow banned for a long time. It's what I have to say. It's what I have to say. It's really that simple. And we're going to get into some of those things today. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get this thing moving. All right. Because I'm going to make this quick. All right. So we promoted, Total Package Energy. Don't forget Total Package Energy, black-owned business out of Oakland. Been supporting these guys for over 8-9 years now. We got to continue to support Total Package Energy. All right? It's an energy shot. If you're drinking C4, if you're drinking Monster, if you're drinking Red Bull, if you're drinking any of that stuff, give your money to a black-owned business, man. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Now, that's the old packaging. I remember people loved those bottles. Now they have little packets that you just pop open and squeeze, I remember those bottles, though. I used to have a bunch of those bottles, but continue to support Total Package Energy. Black-owned business. We gotta keep pushing. All right, let's get busy. Let's get busy. Hey, Chucky Huntley, thank you, brother. There's a couple of ways you can support the channel. You could go to my Cash App, which is $ZoWhatNetter. You could support the channel directly by hitting my Cash App. I'd appreciate it if you showed your love that way. Or you could do what Chucky just did. You could hit the super chat on this channel. The super chat is the little $sign at the bottom of the chat that you're in now. Another way to support the channel is to share and like and subscribe. All right. All right. So let's get it. Let's get it. I'm going to say this really quickly. I saw the Floyd Mayweather fight. Congratulations to Floyd Mayweather. He's 47 years old, still looks sharp. Not fighting any real competition, of course. And he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. Floyd is literally robbing the bank legally. He's legal bank robbery. And as long as he can get the money, as long as he can get the crowds out, I support what he's doing. Not very entertaining fights because, I mean, these guys are not in his class. Even at 47 years old, they're not in his class. But I did see the fight, and the fact that he still is a draw at 47 is amazing. So got that out the way. My next segue is to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? I think that's his name, Jake Paul. I just recently saw the clip with Oscar de la Hoya and Shannon Sharp. And I'm going to say I agree with Oscar. I warned of this before Tyson got sick and had to bow out of the first one. I believe that Tyson's skill set is superior to Jake Paul. I believe that Tyson still has the quick twitch muscle that causes him to throw really fast, hard shots. He's a harder puncher than Jake Paul, but Jake Paul is 26. Mike Tyson is 60, basically, or 60, yeah. And I just don't want to see the brother get hurt. And more importantly, or secondarily, not only do I not want to see Mike Tyson get hurt, I don't want that white man's legacy to be built off the back of a Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see that because they'll be talking as if Mike Tyson was in his prime and this white boy beat him. And I don't want to see that, right? Because that'll become a part of Jake Paul's lore even if he hang with Tyson, you know, and I don't want to see, he was in there with Iron Mike, you know. You know, we mythologize our heroes as we should, but at the same time, we should not let them kill our heroes either. We shouldn't let them kill their image. Mike Tyson has done a lot to work himself back to this position. I'd hate for Mike Tyson to get caught with a shot or get hurt in any way, shape, or form. Mike is one of our legends, and we deserve to keep him around. And I just don't want to see nobody benefit off of his image and likeness anymore. So I would suggest that Tyson keep hotboxing, keep living his best life, keep chilling. I would suggest that he doesn't necessarily have to get back in the ring because if you notice, the stipulations for the fight is, you know, Miles Matthews, thank you for the cash, the super chat. Chris G, thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to thank everybody who's doing it. If you could do it now, do it now, do it now. Hit the like button, hit the share button, push it, push it, push it, push it. Yeah, because they made these fights go on their record, right? This is a sanctioned fight, and it shouldn't go on Mike Tyson's record. Do you understand? Like, I don't like that, and I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think it's cool. What I will say is Oscar de la Hoya did give Floyd Mayweather his flowers on the Club Shay Shay interview. Again, a lot of people are going to say whatever they're going to say in terms of Floyd picked his fighters. And, you know, listen, before Floyd fought Canelo, everybody was like, Canelo going to whoop his ass, including Oscar. Everybody was like, Canelo gonna whoop his ass. He bigger, he's strong, he's stronger, he hit harder, he's as fast. They had all these conversations. I remember at the time, me and my son was in high school when this fight went down. And on his basketball team was the son of Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Ray Jr. And Ray was playing with my son on the basketball varsity team or whatever. And I asked his father, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, I said, yo, who do you think gonna win this fight between Floyd Mayweather and Canelo? And Ray Boom Boom Mancini Sr. sold out. He was like, man, Canelo gonna beat the crap out of Floyd. He bigger than Floyd. He faster than Floyd. He's as skilled as Floyd. I said, man, you really think that? He was like, yeah, he gonna put work in. Needless to say, by the time of our next game, I was able to ask him, like, hey, what happened? Oh, well, Floyd caught him. He was too soon. He was too young. Don't say he's too young. How many amateur fights did he have? He had already had 40 fights to that point. So it's like they want to pick and choose with Floyd. Oh, Floyd was picking and choosing. So was Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray waited. He waited for Hagler. Sugar Ray was retired, sitting in the ring or sitting watching Hagler fight Mugabe. And when he thought to himself, you know what, Hagler's lost a step. That's not the same Hagler. Even though Hagler knocked out Mugabe, Sugar Ray was like, you know what, I'm coming out of retirement. Nobody dings Sugar Ray for that. Sugar Ray is still considered one of the four kings of his era. Sugar Ray, Hearns, Hagler, and Duran. So all of a sudden we want to say, Floyd, oh, he pick and choose his opponents. And did he beat Zab Judah? Yep. Did he beat DeMarcus Corley? Yep. Did he beat Manuel Marquez? Yep. Did he beat Miguel Cotto? Yep. Did he beat Manny Pacquiao? Yep. Did he beat Shane Mosley? Shane Mosley is the one who jumped in. Shane Mosley was too old when he fought Floyd. Wait a minute. Shane jumped in the ring. Come on, Floyd. Give the people what they want to see, Floyd. Make this fight happen, Floyd. Floyd was like, I don't make the fights. He said that in the ring. So then he gets in the ring. He gets clobbered twice. And that becomes the legacy of the loser. At least I clobbered him twice, though. I almost got him up out of there. That's your legacy? You got one good lick in? And then it turns into, well, if he would have fought me 3-4 years sooner. No, you jumped in the ring. Talking about getting people what they want. You clobbered him. You couldn't get him out of there. And then he started to dismantle you. Just started walking your ass down. Start beating your ass, pot-shotting the shit out of you. 10, 12 rounds. It's really hate because, again, I was talking to a youngster at I was at my homeboy's crib. We was in the backyard smoking cigars, chilling. And the homeboy was like, man, I don't like Floyd Mayweather. And I said, why not? He was like, because he's arrogant. He's this. He's an asshole. He's that. He's woo, what? I said, you got to understand something. Being an asshole in boxing is a little different. I'm not saying he's not an asshole in real life. What I said was, I look at the sports figure on the sports alone. What they do outside of sports, unless we having a real conversation about that and that alone, I tend to not talk about that. I just talk about what they do in sports. So I explained to him, I said, well, in boxing, you got to remember, Floyd was the good guy when he was younger. He was Pretty Boy Floyd. He was the good guy. Everybody's rooting for Pretty Boy Floyd. He got robbed in the Olympics. It was a clear robbery. He was the sentimental favorite. Everybody saw him crying after he lost. That's what caused his ass not to lose no more. That robbery in the Olympics, everybody saw that. He was in full tears because he got robbed. Young black man at the Olympics, right? Pretty Boy Floyd. Everybody's rooting for him. After he fights De La Hoya, and I would even say before he fights De La Hoya, I would say it was the De La Hoya fight that he was like, you know what, no more Pretty Boy. It's Money Mayweather now. And just like in wrestling, you have the heel. Floyd took on the heel role. I'll be the asshole. And again, people, just like De La Hoya said, people came to see him lose because he was playing the heel role. He was playing the asshole role. And I get it, but he was able to back all of that shit up. Skill set is phenomenal. So I was explaining to the youngster, man, a lot of that is cap in the way of him being an asshole. I said, a lot of that is cap. I'm talking about just boxing. It's cap. I said, because if you notice, all you got to do is watch every fight to the end. At the end of every damn fight, he's gracious than a motherfucker to his opponent. This is a great champion. He's going to go on. He's going to win more championships. You know, he's a real tough fighter. He's very complimentary of everybody he fights when it's over. Because he plays the heel. He going to sell the tickets. That's part, playing the heel is selling the tickets. People, you building the animosity. You know, you talking all this crap, you know, you at the weigh-in. All of this is part of selling the public on the ticket. And that's why he was tops in that pay-per-view game. That's why he could still sell tickets now. Look at what he did with this John Gotti guy. John Gotti has no business being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. None whatsoever. At the end of the fight, it looked like they don't like each other. It looked like they want to kill each other. At the end of the fight, they hugging. They hugging. They just pulled off a bank robbery. So I just want you, don't get so caught up. Don't get so caught up in the perception of people. We don't know these people. All I know is what I see, you know, in terms of how he behaves in the ring, or before he gets in the ring, handles his business. Then after the fight, he shows contrition, he shows respect, he, you know, shows a lot of love for people. All right? Shows a lot of love. Let me just say this. The month of September, on the Voice of Reason show, KBLA Talk 1580, let me tell you something. We got some major guests coming on. I would say around September 7th, 8th. Major bombshell guests coming on. Hey, Marlon Clark, you sent our only Cash App of the day. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you. If you guys want to send me a Cash App, show your love. Hey, pull that picture over so we can see. What is that? That's the KBLA Talk 1580 show I do called The Voice of Reason. Yeah. We got some bombshell guests on the way. Y'all can't believe who we got, you know. I got a new PR firm behind me, and they're going to be booking guests, and they already got some heavy hitters lined up for The Voice of Reason. So you guys got to stay tuned. Listen, if you want to shoot me a Cash App, I will shout you out. All you got to do is hit $ Zo What Netter. You can send whatever you want, twos and fews. I look at the masses of people that are in here. And again, hit the like button and share so we can get more people in here, because this is abnormal for this channel. They've been trying to choke this channel's people, the people who show up, the people who participate. They've been trying to choke it down to almost nothing. We only have 215 people in here. However, if 215 people gave $2, that's $430. So it doesn't take a massive amount of effort to make a massive amount of impact if we're all doing it collectively. Let me get back to my stories, because I'm not going to be here too much longer. Over the weekend, you already know what it was. It was Kobe Bryant Day, 8/24/24. Kobe Bryant Day in Los Angeles is a holiday that they established for Kobe because of the two numbers that he wore, 8 and 24. And of course, we're in the year of 24. So everybody goes down to the Staples Center. Everybody throws on their, or the crypto, everybody throws on their, Kobe jerseys or whatever. And then the day before, 8/23/24, was the brother's actual birthday. He would have been 46 years old. So we send love and peace to his surviving daughters. He has, 3 surviving daughters and their mother. Just Laker Nation, L.A. I mean, Kobe is L.A. What's interesting about this picture right here is Kobe was injured. I think he had a broken wrist or something to his shooting hand. And this is him in his pajamas. This is a real picture that they cartoonerized, if that's a term. But what's interesting is it's a real picture where he is in the gym in his pajamas practicing with just his left hand. That was the type of player this guy was. Let me transition on over here. This is an older story, but somebody sent it to me and asked me to deal with it. WNBA star Brittany Griner does not want her newborn son calling her mom. She says, "I'm Pops." Alicia, is your mic on? I need you to speak on this. Because I'm old and I'm going to say something that is politically incorrect for the time. But for my time, before I say anything, Alicia, you put yourself on. What in the world? Is this normal? Is this good? Talk to me.
I mean, I think everybody makes a personal choice.
You got to speak into that mic.
Everybody makes a personal choice. Me personally, I have 2 kids. I would never tell them not to call me mom. But in general, they call my partner mom, and they call me Umi. They're also of Belizean descent.
So Arabic for mom. Yeah. Is there something to say about confusing the child? Like, if the child is genetically one thing, right? Gender-wise. This is a male child according to their gender. Help me to understand the process of thinking. Should we leave the child be? Like, if the child is naturally like, oh, not only do I have the man package, when I was little, they say that boy mannish. That's a mannish little boy, right? So my thing is, should we leave them to be what they are if they are something organically, or can they be influenced to change if they're exposed to something? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I have studied anthropology, and definitely the nurture versus nature.
That's
There's
the
nature,
argument.
But no matter what, nurturing does have a serious role to play. So me personally, I've got a very mannish son. And anybody who met my son knows he's mannish as hell.
Mannish.
And so for my kids, I feel like it's really important that they not be exposed to certain things until their minds are old enough and capable of understanding what they're being exposed to. Otherwise, you really risk them not knowing what the norm is.
So let me ask you this. Is mannish normal? From my generation, yes. If we listen, as a man, you see your boy and he acting mannish, we be like, chip off the old block. That's a type of norm, right? But now we're getting into designer normal. I want to design what my normal is. And I think that's playing God to a certain degree. And I think this is crossing somewhat of a boundary there, right? I understand her identification, how she identifies herself. But does she? Because in the WNBA, she considers herself a woman playing women's professional basketball. So if you identify as a woman, she does.
But they wouldn't let her into the NBA.
But
regardless.
You got to speak it to the mic.
And so I would say this.
Oh, so you saying she's doing it?
If she's the man in the household all day and all night, and this the woman in the household, then I feel like you might even make more of a problem if you do have him calling her, if all of her mannerisms and every role she's playing in the house is what we would call mannish, what we would consider the man of the house.
Right, but wouldn't that confuse a boy?
He ain't about to see everything she got.
No, what I'm saying is, like, and this is just from my limited mindset, right? So I'm raised in the crib. Even 50 said it. When he was growing up, confused, his mom's kissing a girl. He said that in the rhyme, hated or loved. So from a certain generation, we have, I guess, archetypes of mom, archetypes of dad. This is what mom and dad look like. This is how they vibe. So if I'm raised in an environment where I got two moms and one is acting like a man, would that not contribute to a type of cognitive dissonance, especially when I go out into the world and I see the world is not like my house? And you got to remember, children model their home environment. So in a way, are we modeling confusion?
I'm a strong believer that the parent that you have is going to affect you regardless. Whoever your parent is, if your parent is a crackhead, if your parent is a pastor, you are going to have two different life experiences regardless. And that's an individuality thing.
I love that. I love the transparency here. So would you agree with her calling herself Pops? Like, if you got boys, would you agree that she should call herself Pop? Me personally, I just have to be honest, and this is me coming, right? This is me coming from my age group, my demographic, my sexual orientation, right? This is me coming. Yo, you can't call yourself Pops if you're raising heterosexual boys.
I don't think that's true.
And you're a woman?
Like a ton of heterosexual boys be the first one to walk up and be like, he. Like, now you a boy. They be the first ones
to walk up and do what?
Depending on how you present. If you present as a stud, as a masculine woman, they be the first ones to call you a boy. First ones to say he.
Please say more, because you're educating me.
Honestly,
yes.
And I've had, in my experience, the more heterosexual a male is, the more they will speak up and be like, that ain't no girl. Look at how they acting.
So, okay, and you, living as a stud, you're saying heterosexual men come up to you and be like, you're not.
I'm saying children. Men have the mental capacity to understand who I am and what I'm presenting as.
But you're saying the children are the ones that, of course, kids don't have no filter. They be like, you's a girl. And I get it, but if you're in a home environment and you are assuming these archetypal roles, I'm not condemning, I'm just saying, if we want to make sure that this child is programmed correctly.
But see, you assume that in my household,
I haven't assumed anything. I don't know.
You said it presented as a stud, but in actuality, I've already told you. My kids call me either mom or Umi. Because for me, no matter how I dress, I am female to my core, and I have no gender confusion. And a lot of how I present is because a lot of men in this world cannot be trusted. And a lot of women have had to protect themselves, regardless of it's just because you growing up in the hood and you got to be hard because you ain't got no man to take care of you and you the one out here making the money, whatever it is. I can't speak to other people and what they're going through or what their experience is, but my personal experience is I'm a woman to my core. My kids live in my household, so they see me. They know who I am. They're not confused about who I am.
There we go. See, but that's the thing we need to know, because most of us are on the outside looking in. All I'm saying is, especially because I know there are some stud women that have had babies by heterosexual men. How do we like raise those kids in that environment to where they're not confused? Or are they born clear in terms of it don't matter what they claim they are? You know, my parent, that's just my normal, right? Is it more like that, or do they come to you and be like, Mom, like, what's your relationship status? Do kids come to their parents and kind of ask them like, you like women? I know, listen, I got a gay brother. And when I was really young, that was my brother. He reminded me of Jackie Jackson, the oldest Jackson in the Jackson 5. He had a big ass afro. He was cool as fuck. But as I got older, I started to recognize, oh, bro he on the other side of the fence. And then my other brother, my second oldest, was like Coolidge. You guys may not know none of these references. He was like Coolidge from The White Shadow. That was my second oldest brother. Or, he was more like Karl Malone at 16. That was the one I used to run with, real tough. And they started to hit me like, oh, your oldest brother is on the other side of the fence. Well, when I was younger, I didn't like that at all. Because I felt like, nigga, you been lying this whole time. I thought you would, because he presented like just cool brother. Like, and I was mad about it. I was confused about it. I didn't understand it. I mean, come on, what is this? The 80s, the early 80s? I'm like, what the fuck is that about? You know what I'm saying? So I imagine, just based off of my experience, that when children in this kind of environment come into the knowledge of who their brother might be, or who their mother or father figure might be, I'm sure that it causes some kind of cognitive dissonance. What are your thoughts?
I don't really know when it comes to the household where there's all females and no males.
That's a great point.
Like, my kids have a father. Their father is who he is. They have experiences with him, other siblings. So
that's the key. Now that you just hit it right on. So that's the key, because I got a friend of mine As a matter of fact, God bless the dead. She really just passed maybe 2 months ago. And I know it's been tough for her. She had a young boy. He's now in college. He's a freshman in college. But I seen the little kid grow up, right? Because my daughter and her mother lives over there. So, if I go over there, I seen the kid grow up. Had a very in and out kind of daddy situation. And the boy, I don't know how to say it. I'll just say it in the most politically correct way. I ain't gonna say it from my generation. The boy is gay, but flamboyantly. And all women environment. Had a sister and a mama, a bunch of aunties. Dad was kind of in and out. And apparently, my daughter and her mother could see that he was going that way when he was younger. I couldn't see nothing. I just saw a little kid. It was like, did you see him come over here in his sister's shoes? I was like, that means I was like, that ain't nothing. Lo and behold, because he didn't have these strong masculine images to look up to, maybe that's the case for some kids. But what he said was, the story that I'm getting was this. He told his mom, he tried to come out to his mom, but his mom wasn't listening or whatever. Then he had to come out again. And his mother was like, oh, like for real? Damn. Oh, really? Okay, it's all good. You all right. You know how mamas do. It's love, Accept him. It's all great. Then they bring the pop over, and the story goes that they tell the pop, like, yo, this is what he own. This is what he's about. And they say the pop is like, hell nah, my son can't be like this. And whoop, whap, whoop, and whoop. He start going in. And then the mom has to jump in and say, listen, man, if you going to try to tear him down and do all of that shit, you can't come around. So I'm asking you, like, is this a normal scenario in households where you have a kid who's starting to understand their sexuality? And is it a struggle for them to come out? Did you struggle? Or was it generally just embraced and accepted?
That's loaded. As far as being just generally embraced and accepted, no. I grew up in my grandparents' household, and my grandfather was a preacher. My grandmother was first lady. Very church-oriented, 4 or 5 days a week in church. Told my grandmother I was gay. She said, no, you're not. That was it.
That's so.
That was it.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I told other people in my family, and they were like, oh, we been new. Like, they were saying they been new, and I'm like, and they was telling me when they been new from, and I'm sitting here like, damn, I didn't even know I was gay then. Like, I didn't even know what gay was then. So I think it's, again, individuality. Sometimes you just see signs in people of who they are going to become, whether it's by their acceptance of certain things or by them not fitting into the norms, whether everybody's around that's supposed to be around or not.
But do you think if a strong male figure is in a young boy's life, that he could still just grow up to be gay?
Yeah.
Or not? I'm only asking these questions because I don't have the direct experience of what that could be. I don't know what that is.
So there have been a couple of guys in the family, I would say in my extended family, and when they got to adolescence, 16, 17, my sister come asking me, this one gay, that one gay, because I'm supposed to be like the aficionado.
The gay radar, right?
Yeah,
Gaydar,
I'm the one.
right.
And I'm sitting here and they're like, oh, he ain't got nothing but like he got a lot of female friends and this and that, but they caught him listening to Beyonce, and I'm like, I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Like that's not necessarily an indicator. And then one of them definitely did not present as and didn't seem gay. You wouldn't automatically just think they were gay, but both of them was gay. They were definitely gay, and they definitely came out a couple of years later. And I can't speak for one of them, but the other one I know for a fact, not only did he have the strong male role model of his father there all the time, he also had 5 brothers, and ain't none of them gay.
So you believe that it's really like in the genes, it's something that's just innate?
I think it's still nature, nurture. Part of it can be natural, and part of it can be your life experiences. Because even if you are naturally inclined to be a certain way, if you continuously have certain life experiences, especially if they come in before the age of 10, before the age of 5, it can severely alter your trajectory. We all know that.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying I think there's really nothing I could say. I think
it's more trauma, though. You know what?
Yeah.
They say it's trauma. So when you don't have that strong male figure, it might hurt, but that's not always trauma. But that can be trauma when now mama's boyfriend done this or that type of situation.
But imagine what happens, and this happens, and this has nothing to do with sexuality or sexual preferences. But imagine what happens if you got a weak ass, pussified, punctified ass daddy in the household, to the point where everybody in the household kind of know, like, what the fuck kind of daddy is this? He there, but he ain't shit. Lacks morals, lacks integrity, lacks work ethic, lacks vision, right? We're seeing it in the household. Kids are watching, modeling, peeping the whole shit. Then they go to school and go to their friend's house, because kids go visit other kids, go to the friend's house and see everything in a father that their father isn't. So you telling me that doesn't affect those kids when they have to go back home to the beanbag that's sitting on the couch? Them kids are affected, because especially if one of those father figures is like encouraging to them, come on, let's do it, let's get together. We're doing push-ups right now. We're doing sit-ups right now. You get over here too. Everybody in here's got to do it. This is how we earn our fucking ice cream or whatever, and then you get in that environment and it's like, oh shit, this is not what I'm accustomed to. Now put it back on the gender side.
I just don't think that's going to affect who you want rubbing on you at night. That's my thing. Because then where is it coming from? Where's the attraction coming from?
But that's what I'm saying. Put it back on the gender side. If you have someone like Brittany Griner saying, I'm Pops, couldn't the same effect happen if the kid that's raised in her household goes to another household and sees a totally different archetype of what she's, in a way, mimicking?
Well, no, because I think she's the man in her household, and I think that all they're going to see is possibly the gender difference, but I think, again, the world has definitely come a long way. Like, I mean, I'm an 80s baby, and I didn't ever imagine that it would look the way it looks right now. And even when it comes to me, being myself, I felt comfortable being myself, but a lot of people expect so much more harshness, masculinity from me. And I'm just like, nah, I'm just a gay girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a man. I don't think I'm a man. None of that. But some people, that's who they are. I got friends that, like, I would never disrespect them. I probably would never be like, what up, girl? I would never say that to them because it would just seem weird just how they are as a person. I think who you are, your strength of character, a lot of time that dictates how people react to you as well.
But I will say that intellectually, what you're saying is a bit of intellectual gray area, right? It's hella gray. And I would say the people in the LGBT community are still kind of trying to manage just what the expectations are, what the definitions are. And they even have some designations that don't even require definitions, right? Pansexual, or there's this new version of heterosexual, or not heterosexual, bisexual, that's like, oh, I'm bisexual at times, but not all times. I could be pansexual at this time, but not all times. I could be this kind of sexual. It's a whole new, so, and I think the disingenuous part is people in the LGBT community just won't come out and say, you know what, we're not clear about it. They're saying, leave us be and let us be in our uncertainty. And it's like, oh, okay. We understand that too, but when somebody says the newborn son can't call me mom, they got to call me pops, and we're still in this transition phase in society, and really it has nothing to do with us because that's her household, but the question is, what do you think those implications might be on a child that could potentially, by nature, grow up to be heterosexual? Can you see a heterosexual man, because she's Brittany Griner, so if the baby got her DNA, the kid could very well be an NBA player. The kid could be, wait a minute. There's 2 eggs there, right? So the baby ain't got her DNA. How do they have a baby? See how confusing it gets?
And I just trusted you right there. I thought maybe you knew.
I'm trying to understand.
As 2 women, they can choose who the baby is biologically related to. Sometimes people choose, if they're carrying, to actually carry a biological child for the person who's not carrying. That way, everybody is related. I gave birth to you, but you are my biological child. So both parents are still parents.
Oh, see, I didn't know. Hip
World
me.
has come very far, very far.
Hip me. Say that shit again. Wait a minute. Because I was under the impression you needed some sperm from somebody else.
You do. However, if one mother is the person carrying the child, and she's carrying the biological child of the other mother, meaning she's basically a surrogate for this child that has been fertilized with some sort of donor sperm, or however they chose, then both mothers genuinely usually feel, well, I gave birth, that's my child, I'm genetically related, that's my child.
Is she genetically related? See, you just did a magic trick. That was a magic trick.
The one who gave birth may not be genetically related.
That's what I'm, okay.
She's carrying this other person. I said she was a surrogate.
Okay. So she's not genetically related.
No, but when
you can say, birth, because I went through the process of giving birth, I gave birth to this child. This child is my child because I gave birth to the child. But do you see the gray area that I'm talking about?
Oh, there's a lot of gray area.
And where there's gray area, there will be uncertainty. And where there's uncertainty, there will be some confusion. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying everything has to be clear and mapped out and all of this and that. I'm just saying, I think the propensity for this child to grow up a little confused is high. Because the moment that kid goes out into the world, the level of ridicule they might face, because your mama is a celebrity, right? Your mother was playing pro ball in Russia, had some weed on her, went to jail. The U.S. had to go get her. She played in the Olympics. She played in the WNBA. So imagine the type of, and you said it yourself, kids be fighting and they be telling the truth. Your mama ain't a dude. Your mama is your pops. When the Jonesins start happening,
First of all,
tell me the
about
truth.
People who are living in a different tax bracket, living in a new age. To be honest, it's tons of kids like this who are already grown, teenagers. It's honestly, when you go in, I'm not the only mom household. I'm not the only kid who's on the playground that is experiencing that at home. And it's become a lot more normalized just because it's so many families that operate like that, or people who are single mothers who've chosen to have kids. Because I look at a lot of that the same. I'm not, it's still test tube baby to me. It's all interesting to me. I look at it, I read about it, but me personally, I'd be like, oh, so you still had a baby with somebody you didn't know. But a lot of times, if they're heteronormative, it's perfectly fine for her to go down there, get her a little donor sperm because she ain't got no man. Same rules apply. I feel
That's what Ebony K. Williams did, right? Let me ask you a quick question. Saucy Santana. You remember he had a whole conversation with his mama, and his mama was basically like, if I would have known what happened to you, because he believes one of his family members, according to him, abused him. And I think the general consensus or the belief is he wouldn't have been what he is had that not happened. And he said that was happening over a period of years. I think from 9 until 16, if I'm not mistaken.
I think what's the messed up part is that as people, we don't get to know if we would have been like that naturally or not because of being taken advantage of. Because at the end of the day, that is a child who has been taken advantage of.
Well, that's what happened to my oldest brother. He got taken advantage of. The story came out. They done told us everything. We don't know if he would have been that. Right? We don't know if he would have been that, but the story was, and a lot of bad things have happened to my older brother throughout his life. He got caught in a building fire. This is when he was a teenager. Like, somebody had a furnace. It was in an empty building or something, and the furnace, and somebody lit a match, and the shit blew up. He caught on fire. Like, what the fuck? Like, god damn. When is? So he's had a lot of, and then he was abused by somebody. We feel like that abuse piece is what led him, to his. Is it still politically correct or unpolitically correct to say alternative lifestyle?
I believe that's PC.
That's PC. All right. But yeah, he been through a lot. Shit.
See, now that you thought about that, you thought about all those traumas he's experienced.
He's experienced some shit. That's why I'm really thinking about it, because I'm like, if this kid grow up in the world we grew up in, and yes, this world might be becoming a little bit more tolerant.
And he's going to have a lot of good therapists all along the way to help him deal with any of those things. And that makes a difference too.
Yeah, but
as far as confusion goes.
But to me, like, let's just be real. And I know, listen, first off, I appreciate you joining the Zoa show, because normally you just start talking. But I appreciate you joining and being, candid and open about your situation. I just have to be honest. Do you look at this? And I know we could forecast to the future and be like, yo, the world is changing and blah, blah, blah. But as a person of your particular orientation, I know you look at this and be like, ooh, this is going to be tough. This ain't going to be no easy walk. There are going to be some bumps and some challenges in the road for this family. We have to be honest about that.
I honestly look at it from a slightly outsider's point of view. I personally engage in, I guess, what most people would call an alternative lifestyle, being that we chose to be two women who had children, and we have all our children with the same man. But it was natural, so I have no idea how people feel when they choose to have a donor, when they choose to create a family and choose not to have a male involved and not to have a father involved by their choice, not by his choice. So I don't know what it looks like or how hard it is or not is. My kids have their father. They know their father. They pick up the phone, see him, talk to him. So,
but I think your situation is a little different.
Right.
From theirs, your situation is different. Your kids have their biological father and two mamas. They
don't always know who mama is.
But this is a different situation. This one, you have to step out of your shoes and kind of step into their shoes. This is, okay. Can I be? I don't want to be like insensitive, because let me just ask: is Brittany Griner a woman?
Yeah.
So that's a woman. So if she's a woman, I just feel like that's putting some real pressure on that kid to process, but that's my pops. I'm just saying, isn't that fair? Just if we're looking at it from the child's perspective, and I know the child's going to grow up in this environment and going to think it's normal, but when the child gets out into the world, the child is going to see the drastic contrast. Like, this is not how it.
I don't think they're singular entities, because we all have other family units or other, households around ours that are very close. Auntie and uncle, grandma and grandpa, all of those things play a role as well.
That's a good point. Good point, man. Thank you, Alicia, for sharing your insights. Because I saw this topic a couple weeks ago, and I never got around to it. And I was like, yo, this is heavy. This is heavy. This is heavy, 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 heavy stuff. All right, let me go to this topic real quick. Mike Lynch. Follow the money. Mike Lynch, yacht sinking. Right? Now, this dude apparently was in trouble in the United States. Got off. This is a billionaire. Got off. Let's see. The captain of his ship is under investigation for manslaughter and shipwreck, according to judicial sources. The official, who asked not to be named, confirmed to Reuters on Monday the earlier reports in Italian media that New Zealander James Cutfield, 51 years old, was being investigated by Italian prosecutors after a super yacht, sank in a storm off the coast of Sicily last Monday. Again, a lot of people believe that this guy had some big things going on, and they had to sink the yacht. That's what a lot of people believe, allegedly. It comes amid tribute for the owner of the British flagged vessel, Mike Lynch. His daughter, Hannah Lynch, 18 years old, come to find out she was pulled out of the water recently. They just found her body. Morgan Stanley chairman Jonathan Bloomer, his wife, Judith Bloomer, Clifford Chase, lawyer Christopher Morvillo, and his wife, Nada Morvillo, who all died in the disaster. This guy was a big-time dude and was being investigated for something real heavy. Let's find out. Do you know what he was investigated for, Alicia? Let's find out. Apparently, something serious. Let's see how serious. Mike Lynch. There he is, entrepreneur. The creepy coincidences of the super yacht sinking. That's New York Magazine. The captain of the ship is under investigation. Was he paid off? Adds questions about... Yeah, a lot of people are questioning this. Yeah, a lot of people think some foul play was involved. Very interesting. You know what else? This dude is... Oh, I ain't gonna say that. Very interesting. I would just say watch with an objective eye how this story unfolds. That's what I would say. Let me get past that. I got to shout this brother out before we get up out of here. Oh, man. Houston rapper Scarface. He's in ICU. Brad. You know, he's been dealing with the kidney issue for a minute. And all we could do is pray for the brother. Pray that something positive happens for him. Pray that something good happens for that brother. He's one of the greatest MCs to ever do it, one of the greatest storytellers to ever do it, one of the greatest voices to ever do it. I love it when Drink Champs, pits him against Ice Cube, and they always do the Cube, Scarface. Who you got, Cube or Scarface? I think those are two perfect matches, although I believe Ice Cube to be like the West Coast version of KRS-One. But, Brad Jordan is a legend. He's a legend. He's a once-in-a-lifetime MC. I think he ran for office down in Houston, where he's from, Houston, Texas. He's more than a rapper. You guys saw that when he did his Tiny Desk. His Tiny Desk was absolutely incredible. It was outstanding. And it was a viral moment. It was so impactful. It was a viral moment. And the problem is, man, it's easy to give people their flowers, when they're gone. I think it's time to start doing it before they get sick, before they get ill. Somebody like him, man. You know who else is suffering with the kidney issue is Nate Robinson, basketball player. And Nate needs a kidney as well. I think that's what's going on with our brother, is his kidneys are starting to fail. I think that's the issue. Somebody said dialysis messes people up. Listen, my mother was on dialysis for a couple years, so trust me, I understand. Man, it's heavy to see that brother like that. I thought he had got past it, but apparently you can't get past it. So nothing but prayers going out to him. Prayers to the great Scarface. I hope he has a speedy recovery. I hope he can make it back. Let's see. I got another story. The biggest diamond in over a century has been found in Botswana at 4,000 or 2,492 carats. Who owns the diamond? Is it owned by black folk? Is it owned by the black hand that's holding it? Somebody said he had a transplant. Got it. Hopefully, yeah. You do know when you get a transplant, your body tends to reject it because it's not from your body. You have to take medication for the rest of your life to kind of trick your body into accepting the transplanted organ. That's just how it is. Your body recognizes this is an organ from somewhere else. So that's normal, and this is why they have medication, But let me just say this. Prayers for Face and Nasty Nate. No doubt, man. Nate got the University of Washington behind him. The Huskies, they're out looking for a donor for sure for Nate Robinson. But yeah, prayers to both those brothers. And I say we pray collectively. As I was stating about this particular diamond, the second largest diamond ever found, I was asking if the black hand that's holding it owns it, or is it owned by the damn De Beers company? This should be a sign, man. And with everything that's going on right now, you got ADOS, you got FBA, organizations that, make arguments for the people that were descendants of slaves here in America. Man, let me just say this too. I'm tired of white people owning shit that they really have no business owning. Okay? White people really have no business owning a diamond. All the resources that Africa produces. Imagine if Africa had control of all of their resources. Imagine if Africa wasn't 53 countries. Imagine if Africa was just one country. Just all of Africa, one country. And Nigeria is a city. You get what I'm saying? Botswana is a city. You feel me? Imagine the power associated with that particular country. 1.3 billion people as population. And then imagine if that country said, we're only doing business with our melanated family members, those who descend from us. Anything that makes them rich. You can't have a prince without some jewels in their crown. Where your jewels come from? Where do your diamonds come from? Anything that makes them wealthy comes from somewhere else. It don't come from where they from. The gold in your crown, where is it from? If you do a little research on the Queen's jewels, you will find out something very profound. You will find out that the Queen's jewels from Africa. Stole it all. Do you know what moves black people more than unity? Gossip. Drama. Shit talking. And if you get some gossip-filled drama with some shit-talking entertainment with multiple episodes, nigga, we good. We live in lovely. We live in lavish. Right? We got to get up out of that. I would hate for that diamond that's sitting in that black hand to be turned over to a white hand. Right? I would just hate for that. Right? Truemonger says YouTube Premium, no ads. I don't know what that means. So, Alicia, they're talking in the chat room. They said they're seeing ads. What does that mean if they're seeing ads?
That means they're seeing ads on the YouTube.
But what does YouTube Premium, no ads mean?
chance, they'll just see the whole show straight through.
Are you guys being inundated with commercials? Is that something we could fix on our end? I'm just asking, because I don't know. All right, let me get to this last point. Unity is the key, right? Oh, I didn't even promote that. Listen, the Relationship ER Masterclass is still available right now. It's 2 days. You guys can go to onestream.tv/therelationshipER right now. If you haven't purchased this masterclass, man, this masterclass was on fire. Trust me. Go to onestream.tv/therelationshipER. Again, if you haven't supported, please support in the best way you know how. This is another way you could support. You can purchase my masterclass, which is onestream.tv/therelationshipER, or you can go to my website, mrzowhat.com, purchase a copy of my book. Man, if we can get 50 copies of my book sold today, that would be a blessing to your brother. That would be an absolute blessing. Go to my website, mrzowhat.com. Just go there, mrzowhat.com, and order a copy of my book. I will ship it out to you ASAP. And then also, if you don't want to do that, you can support by shooting me a Cash App, $ZowWhatNetter, or you could hit this here $ at the bottom of the chat and drop a few coins. We got one more story to deal with, I think. Right, and I was talking about what tends to keep our attention locked in, and like a lot of it is drama. And I'm talking about this political, the politics of being an American today. And I'm talking about the run for the presidency, and everybody is attacking everybody. That's why I said it's drama filled, right? Yes, everybody's talking about this. I'm just asking you to be objective. That's all I'm asking. If somebody asks objective questions, you somehow hating on the black woman. You hating on the sister. Right? I'm just saying, be objective. And I'm not just talking about her. Don't be so blind to run towards the other one either. Politicians, by nature, I'm from a generation that used to say this. Don't trust the preacher. Don't trust the politician. I used to hear that. Coming up. See, you're an 80s baby. I was an 80s kid. So, man, like I used to hear, don't trust the politician. Why? Because they say what they need to say. I heard, don't trust a lawyer. Don't trust a preacher, the politician, or a lawyer. That's what we used to hear, right? And I would modify that for today's time, and I would just simply say, be objective. Don't be so emotionally swept up. Why is it that patriotism gets us wrapped up like we're in a church sermon? Like the Holy Ghost is at the damn rally. Why is it like that? You get people like, what was the guy, Van somebody? The bald-headed guy, bald guy, brother. He always crying. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's always crying about these political people. When Biden stepped down, he was in tears. listen, I got a show with Tavis Smiley on Tavis Smiley's channel. Do you know people, Van Jones, yeah. Do you know people hate Tavis Smiley? I'm talking about black people. Hate Tavis Smiley for what he said 15 years ago regarding Barack Obama. They hate him. I know for my uncle, he's 77 years old. My uncle will show up at the cigar lounge. He don't even call no more. He just know I'm gonna be there, and he show up. He go to the front door. They be like, "Oh, Zoe's uncle's here. Let him in." Uncle come through. I introduced my uncle when I first told my uncle, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna be over there with Tavis Smiley. I got a radio show." Fuck that motherfucker. Talking that shit about Obama. I don't appreciate that shit, man. You don't put the black man down. You know, he was fucked up about it. Emotional, so emotional to where he can't like hear the truth of what's being said, like being objective about it. Brother Tavis is saying it's basically the same shit. Hey, we're going to have to check you if you don't have nothing in store for us. What did she say out of her own mouth? But you get seen as a hater. My uncle literally hated Tavis. And then I said, all right, Unc, let's roll over to the studio. I'm going to introduce you to Tavis. I took him over there. He was like, you know, Tavis is a nice guy. You know, he got a chance to hear Tavis out. So I'm having another conversation with another one of my cousins, a little older than me. And he like, man, I can't talk to some of our cousins, man, because they so wrapped up in the euphoria of the political process to the point where they're not rational about certain things. And they always go back to that default argument. You know, your foreparents and your forebearers, they died, so you would have the right. Don't you know you could be played with that same philosophy? A bad person, a person with no real intention for doing anything for your people could use that same narrative and get in the office and forget all about you. If you have someone who has already stated, I'm not doing something specifically for you. So again, what happens is, this is where they come up with this concept of identity politics. I'm just voting for the identity of the person because I identify with them. They identify with me. Do you see what I'm saying? I be telling people, stay objective. So my uncle comes into the lounge and my uncle starts talking this politics shit. And I told him, I said, Unc, you know, I love you now. Don't walk down this road with me. What do you mean? That he hit me with the same shit. He was like, you not voting for her? Because if you don't vote for her, that's a vote for him. I said, Unc, I love you, man, but don't make me do this to you. I have nothing but respect for you, Unc. Don't make me crush you. And, you know, my Unc is, you know, I do have the utmost respect for him. When I tell you, my Unc was he was at the University California, Los Angeles when he was 19. He was at UCLA, got his engineering degree. When I tell you, my uncle is the Moses of our family. His mother passed. My grandmother passed when she was 36 after having 11, 12 kids. Okay? He's in high school. He's like a baseball star. And it's time for him to graduate. So he graduate, he coming out here. He like, yo, I'm finna go where my uncles and my grandmama at. But his dad, my grandfather, was broken down. His wife had died. So basically, my uncle, who's 18, 19, comes out here to play baseball. He's getting ready to do his thing in baseball because he's that good. He gets yanked to go to Vietnam, military. But if it wasn't for him, he took all of his brothers and sisters with him to Southern California out of Chattanooga. He raised his youngest brother in his house like it was his own. This is the dude that was out here in the 70s buying houses. Okay, I got that house over there. Okay, I got this house. I'm gonna put my two brothers in this house, and then I'm gonna put my sister over here. Like he was the Moses of the family. So I have nothing but respect for him. But when we started talking, and I started explaining to him, just because all skin folk and kin folk, and I started explaining, and we had a conversation. By the time it was over, he was like, all right, Rod. He called me Rod, Hot Rod. All right, Hot Rod. All right. Okay. You cool. I get it. You know, he was like, this is a good conversation. I never heard it put that way, you know. And he was like, it was very intellectual, and you didn't demean me, or you didn't put me down for my beliefs or whatever. But he was like, at the same time, I did hear what you were saying. And I was like, cool. Whereas if I'm talking to his sons, they're going to try to act like they're holier than thou and they're better and this, that, and the third, and they know more, you know, that's kind of the energy. It doesn't necessarily, and that could be me misperceiving them, but that's how it comes off, you know, a little condescending. But he was like, nah, man, you articulated yourself well, and I understand why you would be concerned, you know. And when I asked him, I said, do you know what the word vote means? He said, yeah, it means to cast your ballot. It means your choice, who you pick in and choose. No, that's not what it means. It comes from the etymological root. It means to wish. It's votum. It means to wish. What? Huh? Yeah. It means wish, man. When I started explaining to him, political system set up like the religious system. Jesus is your intermediary between God and you. You go through, no man gets to the Father except by me. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Nobody gets to the Father except through me. That's your mediary, your intermediary, right? Your middleman. A politician is the middleman, just like the preacher is a middleman to the middleman. That's why you get some people saying, nah, you got to have a personal relationship with Jesus. So you bypass the other middleman, which is the pastor. But in politics, your middleman between you and government is the politician. And you cast your vote from the Latin votum, meaning to wish. You cast that vote wishing and praying that they're going to fall through or follow suit with their promises to you when they get to Capitol Hill or when they get to that local gig that you voted them into. And I just don't understand the fervor. To me, that's cooning. Who was the dude, Billy Preston? The dude that was kissing Biden's hand at the sing-along, singy jam So would you have kissed his hand if you known he was going to stutter and blow up at the debate against Trump? Would you have kissed his hand if you knew he was going to bow out? Because why do we get so emotional when we should be objective? But the etymology of wish, to have a desire, we all live with having a desire. That's off point, he who thinks. We're talking about the specific word vote and its etymological root, not the etymological root of the word wish. We're talking about the word vote. In context of how they present it to us, vote means you have a choice. Exercise your choice. Exercise your power. Why would you name me exercising my power wish? It's not a wish come true. Because the wish come true would be rectify all the wrongs that happen to the black folk here in America. You've done it for other people you've hurt. Right? Japanese internment camps. Right? Japanese internment camps. Right? Nobody in America has experienced what black folk in America has experienced at the hands of America. So if anybody was owed anything in America, wouldn't it be black folk? And if you demand, listen, if you done got so damn comfortable to say, you're not black if you don't vote for me, and you've never signed off on reparations, that's Biden. In the 90s, Biden was calling us parentless animals running the streets, looking to take on his sons and knock his mama over the head. This is how he created the crime bill, 94. Now, all of a sudden, you got people crying, literally crying tears of agony because he's having brain farts on TV. Now we got to shift. Listen, this is the same. I'm not advocating for either one. I'm saying it's all toxic on both sides. They got you thinking a wish is going to change the world for you. The world going to change regardless. The question is it going to change for the better for you? That's why I say be objective. Don't get caught up in, this is the same person that didn't get no delegates 4 years ago. Had to quit because she wasn't popular, wasn't interesting. When you look at, you know who's an interesting president? Barack Obama and Bill Clinton are the black and white versions of each other. Look at how they talk, how they articulate. Do you understand? People voting for them because they like them. There's an affinity for them dudes. Remember Bill Clinton on Arsenio with the saxophone? You had comedians saying, that's the first black president, because they liked him, not because of his policies. If you look at Clinton's policies, they hurt black people too. 3 strikes, you're out is under Clinton. But we like him. Barack Obama, 15 years ago, Barack Obama, Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, derided by black people. Why? Because he said, you don't really have anything to offer us when it comes to legislation. What are you going to do? There are some executive orders that you can do because let's just be clear about the American government, because people are confused. People think the president has all the power in the world. No, he doesn't. It's set up. It's like a 3-headed monster. You got the legislative branch, you got the executive branch, and you have the judicial branch. And they are designed to counterbalance each other, right? They are. So if the president says, I'm just finna do some shit, the legislative branch, Supreme Court can step in and be like, no, or judicial branch can step in and be like, no, that's not how that works, sir. They can stop him. But he also has a little weapon of his own where he can veto certain shit that the legislative branch, when they come with certain bills, he can say, I don't like that bill. Go back and rewrite it. I'm going to veto that. So there are checks and balances of power in the system. So a lot of people felt like Barack could just do anything, but he could have put his foot on the gas. He could have been more vocal about the black plight whenever he was hit with reparations. Oh, it's too complex of an issue to deal with. Sound familiar? I'm not going to do nothing specific for black folk. If I do something, it's going to help all Americans. They can't speak and talk. Listen, if you can't talk directly about your folk and what you going to do for your folk, you understand that your folk is still the enemy. And you got to walk on eggshells when it comes to your folk. Now, you got people out there questioning if she's our folk at all. But they're also being villainized for questioning. If you're uncertain, can we question? I'm just saying, stop being like, people be getting like so euphoric. Oh my God, we finna have the first woman president and she gonna be black. Okay, cool. Oh, because I believe she gonna win. You know why? She might win. I don't know.
Why do you think she's going to win? We got to know.
Because it's something about being selected. Not elected. Selected. You had all the OGs out there. Clinton, Obama's, all the selected. This government has always been a shadow government of the government that preceded it. Right? And I'm talking about Great Britain. He said, what are you talking about, Zoe? Go look it up yourself. All of these people are related. How's Barack Obama just so happened to be the first black president, according to them? So happened to be the first black president related to Dick Cheney, related to George Bush. Just how? Through his mother's bloodline goes back to European aristocracy. And then you start to find out, damn, all the presidents are? Except for the ones that were assassinated? So, wouldn't surprise me if on her Jamaican/Irish daddy side that we're going back to some, if we find out before that she's related, she's the one. That's what I said. European aristocracy through bloodline. The succession. America through voting. No. It's a wish. We got to make them feel like they have power. That's why we're going to name this a vote. Because what were the early politicians doing in America? They were trying to suppress the vote. They were trying to keep people from voting. At first, it was only white male landowners who could vote. So before they could extend that vote out to everybody, male, female, black, white, before they could extend it out, they had to put some provisions in place that would limit the power of the vote. Electoral college, anybody? So I'm participating. I feel like I got power. Her dad is not black Jamaican. Okay. Whatever. Everybody want to be so exact and precise. I don't know what she is. I'm saying be objective. Don't believe anything that's said to you. I'm saying be objective, stand back, and just watch. And if I see motherfuckers tap dancing and soft shoeing, I know what it's about. What do you mean, Zoe? Tap dancing and soft shoeing. You're just getting all wrapped up in the Holy Ghost of the political process. We're going to see some real change this time. Really? Okay. The greatest change that could ever happen is if we work with each other. All right, guys, I went well over the time I was going to do. I just wanted to put that little word out. Just be objective, man. Don't get all caught up. Let me shout out the people who sent me some cash apps. I think we got like 2 or 3 cash apps. Computer U Software. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Computer U. Alonzo Scott the third. Thank you. My next one said, no shouts needed. Come on, man, you fam. I just wanted to show love. Then we have Calvin, Bernie. Yep, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 cash apps. Listen, if you want to support me directly, you can hit my cash app. Hit my cash app right now. It's $Zoe what Netter. If you appreciate what we're doing, or what I'm doing here at the Zoe What Morning Show, as well as the Voice of Reason on KBLA Talk 1580. Don't forget to tune in tonight. I have an amazing topic set up for you tonight. Voice of Reason, KBLA. Download the KBLA Talk 1580 app. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the share button. Leave comments. There are so many places to leave comments. Let me tell you something a little bit about comments. It's called social proof. Let me just talk about this too, while I got time. If you guys are not impacted by what I'm doing, I get it. Don't say nothing. But if you are and you don't say anything, do you know how many people are watching this show, taking bits and pieces? My own folk be sending me clips of other people saying what I say. Somebody sent me, what's the football player with the dreads? He smokes cigars. Football player. He got a Cam Newton. Somebody sent me a Cam Newton clip with this sister on there talking to him. And at the heading of the clip was, you get what you are. I've been teaching this shit for over 30 years. It wasn't popular to say that. Do you understand? When I was saying it, it wasn't popular to say that. And the other piece, I would say relationship is a mirror. And then I would give credit to where I got it from. 19th century philosopher, Indian philosopher, J. Krishnamurti. Man, somebody sent me a clip of a sister saying, I don't stick the dismount. I don't stick the landing. Wow, it didn't say my name at all. When it comes to relationship, I have a difficult time sticking the landing, is what she said. That's in my book, 2015, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing. Listen, people look at me the way big comedians look at smaller upcoming comedians. They go, hey, that dude got hella content and good content. They'll have their writers come in, watch my gig, and write their script for them. So people are sending me stuff that I've been saying for 20 some odd years, and they going viral for saying it. Because in our community, I call us quote hunters. We're hunting for the next best quote. And then we put that on social media to get the viral moment, get our numbers up, right? Somebody said, Jada said entanglement. Yeah. In 2020, Jada Pinkett said she was an entanglement. 2019, my book came out, The Holographic Relationship. One of the chapters is, what is relationship entanglement? Then all of a sudden, I saw it in a television show, Relationship Entanglement, talking about, entanglement at a distance, the particles. And this is the thing that I covered in the book in 2019. So I find it hella odd, and I'm not tripping. I just know black people don't respect each other enough to cite each other. Like, I cite Dr. Umar all the time. Dr. Umar Johnson said it was the television show Quantum Leap. And somebody was like, man, they look like they pulled that shit right out of your book. Page for word. Because in my book, I postulate that the man and the woman are entangled particles. And once they become entangled, it doesn't matter how far apart they are. If you change the nature of one, the other one instantly changes to match it. Right? I put that in a book. And people are reading the book. Don't ever get it twisted. People are reading the books. People are getting the content. And guess where they can find it? On KBLA Talk 1580. I'm going to be on there tonight with my latest thought-provoking, show. It's interesting. So I would love for you guys to support your brother in the best way you know how. Go to my Cash App, Zowhat Netter, $Zowhat Netter. Go to my website, MrZowhat.com, MrZowhat.com. Purchase a copy of your book. My latest book that's currently out is The Shrouded Lighthouse. And again, tonight I'll be back on this channel, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 9 p.m. For the Voice of Reason. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. Ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but appreciation for everybody who showed love, who shared. Please continue to support the best way you know how. I'll holler back at y'all. Deuces.